You are live. Just give me a second. By the way, coolest coffee cup explains life very easily. Keep it simple. So we are live. Here we are live talking about how to help your team become their best. I have a very special gift for all of you who are paying attention to this. Um, at the very end, I'll give it to you for those people who saw our post up on LinkedIn yesterday or Facebook. We also mentioned that we have a PDF to give away. I will give you a sneak peek of it today before we finish today's session. And anybody who wants a copy of it can let us know, and we will drop you a copy of this amazing PDF, which will summarize everything we're going to go through today. So how do we help our team become their best? By the way, we also have Lisa hiding in the background somewhere. I know that she's here. I think I can just sneak her up on the screen for 2 seconds. There she is, all right, on mute. All right. And Lisa promises not to play around with all the things, bits and pieces, but she will keep us up to date on any comments that come up. So if you're watching this live and you want to make a comment, you want to ask a question, please feel free to do so. And we'll make sure that we address all those comments and questions as they come up. But to the topic at hand. So as a leader, let's just get clear on the definition of leadership first. So leadership's all about helping other people become the best version of themselves to do their life's best work while they're in your care and beyond. And that means that we care about them as human beings first, employees second. All right? And that it's also about us helping everyone to become their best. It's not about actually, we see a lot of organizations where people don't have the space or capacity to actually evolve or grow themselves in the organization, and they can't get anywhere. And so then what they end up doing is reaching this imaginary ceiling, and then they leave. And in today's war for talent, I think it's quite funny because there's massive. All right, so Joseph just jumped on board. Yes, so Joseph, yes, absolutely, my friend. We will definitely get you the PDF. So there's this war for talent going on that's perceived, because everyone's trying to find the best talent for their organizations to serve their clients at the highest level. Well, here's the fascinating thing. A lot of the war for talent should actually start happening inside the organization before you start looking outside the organization for talent or fighting for talent outside to bring in. Because I assure you that you probably have a bunch of untapped talent and ability sitting dormant or laying there latent in your organization that you're not tapping into, because you're not creating the space and the capacity for greatness for that individual. And probably because you're not doing it for yourself yet. So the more that you create space and capacity for yourself to evolve, that means there's more room for your team to evolve. And instead of actually imagine having this happening in your organization, we can create a situation where everybody lifts everybody up in our organization rather than either a ceiling or pushing down on people. All right. So I always used to joke that a lot of organizations, it's like telling your children to grow and putting your hand on their head. And you just, we say we want them to grow, but we don't do anything about it. But what if we could actually change that and do it where we're lifting people up? So that's what this live is going to be all about. I'm going to attempt to use technology. Last time I did this, it didn't fly so well, but we'll see how we go today. I have my trusty tablet here all set up, raring to go. We're going to whiteboard on the screen. Lisa's got a smirk on her face. I can see her in the studio behind the scenes. Let us go to... Actually, Lisa, I can bring you up during this. Look at that. How's that? All right, here we are. So what I want to do is talk to you about the process for human behavior, because leadership's all about people and helping them become the best version of themselves so they can do their life's best work while in your care and beyond. Well, it would be fair to say then we must understand, the process for human behavior. How do people get to be who they are so we can help them become an even greater version of that themselves? So if you look at this process flow on the left here, now let's see if my magic marker is going to work. Success, however you choose to define that for yourself. And please take a look at this through the lens of yourself first, because self-leadership is the first sense of leadership that we need to embrace, and then we can help to lead others or build leadership in other people. So look at this through your own lens for a start. So success, however you choose to define that for yourselves, has come from your results. So I have accomplished these things that culminate in my picture of success. Now, those results have come from the way I've behaved. I've taken these actions, so I've taken actions in a certain way to drive those results and get me the success that I may or may not be enjoying in my life right now. Now, what we know about human behavior for the past couple hundred years, basic psychology studies written in the old text, as Lisa assures me, is that how we think determines how we act. So as a person thinketh, think and grow rich. I think, therefore I am. So our thinking drives our behavior, right? And attitudes are just habits of thinking. Now, those attitudes that we have, or habits of thinking we have been conditioned into us through a process of spaced repetition of a bunch of inputs from parents, teachers, media, society, you name it, whoever's opinions we valued growing up, that we allowed to train our mind, to condition our mind to think in a certain way, causing us to behave the way we are, getting the results and success that we may or may not be enjoying in life right now. That's the process for human behavior. So if you look at this process then for human behavior, the same process that got us to be where we are today is the exact same process we can use to get us to where we want to go tomorrow. All we need to do is change the inputs. So what does this have to do with helping people become the best version of themselves so they can do their life's best work while in your care and beyond? Well, if you want to have results you've never had before, it would be fair to say that you probably need to become somebody you've never been before. So we would go, if I want to have something like that, who would I need to become to have those results? And then if you look at the word behavior, it's just be and have together. So I would go, well, what behaviors would I need to demonstrate to have those results and show that I've become the person that I want to become? And this is where, interesting from organizations, so all you business owners, leaders, things watching out there right now who watch this later, in most organizations, what we identify in terms of performance management theories in organizations, we go, we've identified new results we'd like to have in our organization. We know the actions that need to be done to take it, to achieve those results. And then here it is, please go and do those things. So we're asking the person who thinks like this, who did these results here, this behavior, these results, and succeed, or is who they are today, to now achieve something different. And if you all remember the old adage that if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a new result. So now we're asking this person to behave in a different way. And then what we end up seeing is within a couple of weeks, they go back to doing the old behavior. And we go, hang on, we asked you to behave like this, not like that. And if you don't start behaving like this, we're going to put you on performance management. And so we're actually, whilst I appreciate what we're trying to do is we're trying to drive those results and get the right behaviors in place. And this is why a lot of organizations do behavioral training and things like that. But what we're doing is we're setting that person up to fail, and they're failing. So it should be on us, because what we haven't usually identified is what is the new thinking that we would need to have in place that would drive those new behaviors. If we don't go to the next layer and go below the surface and say, okay, great, if that's the new behavior, well, what thinking would drive that behavior? Because when I look to someone who's doing something, I know the behavior that we want, yay, I know the thinking that would drive that behavior. I can now see your behavior. The only thing I don't know is what were you thinking? And not in a, oh my God, what were you thinking way, but hey, talk to me about what's going on there. Lisa has a great statement that she uses. She says, tell me about that. Tell me about that. So, hey, so you behave like that. You know, this is the behavior that we need. This is the thinking that would drive that. So tell me what was going on there. Tell me about that. What was happening? And then once you can identify what that person was thinking, you know the thinking they have, your job then is just to coach the gap between the thinking they have and the thinking that you need them to have, or they need to have, to drive the right behaviors to get the results and success that you're looking for, or that they're looking for themselves. So let's put this into context for the definition of leadership. Now, this could get a little bit messy here. But leadership, once again, is all about helping other people become the best version of themselves, to do their life's best work while in your care and beyond. That means you need to actually look at, how do I become more of a coach to our team, or to each of the team members? And every time you see a behavior that doesn't match, you go, okay, what would be the right thinking here? I need to find out hey, tell me about that. And then I would bring all that down here and use those as the new inputs with spaced repetition to condition a new way of thinking, to drive that new thinking, to drive the new behavior, new results, and help that person become the best version of themselves, or help myself become the best version of myself. Right? Mic drop moment, boom, moonwalk out of here, we're done. Right? So this is it. Like I always said to people, if I could teach people anything, I would just teach them. Like if I could just teach one thing, I would just teach this process here, because this is the foundation of everything. Now, I learned this process probably back in 1999, a slightly different way, but I've certainly tweaked it a little bit along the way. But it's still been the same thing. This is how we help people become the best and do the best. This is how we help ourselves become the best and do the best. So if you look at this process, we'll put a little bit of context to this. One of the simple analogies I like to use is learning to walk. Now, I'll get Lisa to unmute herself for this one, because Lisa will be a great example here. So
Hi.
Lisa, hi. You have a niece who's just turned 1.
Yes, she's so cute.
Yes. What's her name?
Elliot.
Ellie.
Ellie.
Okay.
We'll go with Ellie. Yeah.
Ellie. Okay. So Ellie, she's just learning to walk now.
Yes, she's right in the throes of the standing up and falling down.
Right, which is beautiful. So Ellie can see that everyone's up and around walking, and we're encouraging her to walk and all that. So she's holding on to something. She takes her first steps. You sent me a lovely video of her first birthday, and you can see that she did fall down a couple of times, which is really cool. So she take a couple steps, and then she fall down, right?
Yeah.
And then what did everybody around her do when she fell down?
Encouraged her, told her she was doing a great job, told her to get back up and have another go.
Right, and then she had another go, and what happened?
She fell over again.
And what did everybody around her do?
Oh, it's okay. You're doing such a great job. Keep going. You'll get it.
Right. And then before you know it, she fell down again, got back up, fell down, got back up. So while a child like Ellie is learning to walk, it'll fall down 50 times, and at no stage will it go, this walking crap ain't for me. Because also it knows that it wants to. So with spaced repetition, it starts to believe they can. It's also got this wonderful environment around it of people who are going, come on, Ellie, you can do it. Get back up. And we're proud of you for falling down.
Yeah.
Because you were taking some steps and you fell down. And then we encourage you to get back up and take some more steps again. Now, as an adult, though, Lisa, when we're running along or doing something different and we fall down, metaphorically speaking, what does society do?
Points and laughs.
Yeah. I always used to joke that, if you look at your phone, people scroll through their phone and they go, oh, look at the cute kitten. Oh, look at that idiot. They fell over. Oh, look at the cute kitten. Like,
So
sadly, this is what society's come to. So as an adult, if we had to learn to walk metaphorically or learn something new or do something that would put us in danger of falling down and looking silly, most people will just stay where they are. Like, this process works by default and circumstance or by design. So most of us have become who we are through default and circumstance. But as you start to grasp this concept and work by design, you have to put yourself at risk of falling down and perceivably maybe looking silly, right? And like, for me, this is so important. But if you have a culture in your organization, especially for the leaders and business owners out there, you need to be able to let people know that it's safe and it's okay to fall down, and that everybody will be putting their hand out to help you up. Because you as the leader, I assure you, as you strive to become the best version of yourself, to do your life's best work while you're in everybody else's care and beyond, you will fall down and make mistakes too. We have no fear at Circle Leadership. If I push the envelope and I start to do something and I fall down while I'm doing it, that Lisa, Al, Ben, anyone in our team will not laugh at me. They'll go, come on, Dave, man, you can do it. Get back up. Let's have another crack at that. Let's do it again, as much as we would for everybody else in our team. Because when people fall down, and Lisa knows this very well, that don't look at it as a mistake. We look at it as a missed take. Right? So, hey, that take didn't go well. Like a director in a movie directing the actors, hey, do it again with more conviction. Or what if we put more emphasis on this and we do it here? Take 2, take 3, take 4. I don't care how many takes it takes to get it right, but we'll get it right. I don't care how many times we have to fall down, we'll get it right. So in your organization, if you want to help your team to become the best, to do their best while in your care and beyond, you first and foremost have to become the leader that you're capable of and create that space and capacity in your organization so that your team can evolve as well. And if you're not willing to do that, that means you're not willing to make mistakes. Then guess what? You're not going to grow. You're going to have all your people hit a ceiling because they can't get any further. There's no space in the organization for them to evolve because you're not, the organization isn't, and they'll leave. So not only the war for talent inside your organization, you're going to lose that talent to other organizations just because you weren't willing to evolve yourself first. So the best thing you can do to help your team become the best version of themselves is for you to continue to strive to become the best version of yourself, which is the same for me. I continue to do all the things that I do to help me become who I need to do. Every year in our organization, and Lisa and I and Ben and Al, who just come on board, will be doing the same thing, is we set a theme for our evolution. Who what is the core theme of who I need to become this year to become the leader that I need to lead this organization? And then we go, okay, well, what results would I have there? What behaviors would I demonstrate? How would I think? And then bring that down here. And then our whole team is like, we're all working together to coach each other while we're in each other's care and beyond to drive the new thinking and the right behaviors and success, because we'll all succeed together. This is it, people. There's no more magic or science to it than that, about helping a team become the best to do their best while in your care and beyond. So if you want to have the highest level of performance out of your team, and I partly joke with some leaders, I wonder if I can move this across just a smidge. Oh, look at this. Woohoo. You're paying for 100% of that person to be there if you want to look at it from a business perspective, a science perspective. You're paying for 100% of that person to be there. But I guarantee you, in most cases, we're lucky if we're tapping into 50% of the true talent and abilities of that person. Are we allowing our people in our organization to bring their best self to work? Or bring themselves to work where they can unleash their best self at work? Because work is such an important part of life and is a part of purpose for us in organizations. Right? And it's, I really believe that everybody wants their lives to be more meaningful. And work's a big part of that. So it's our job as leaders to give them work that is meaningful, full of meaning. And then helping them become the best while they're pursuing that sense of meaning through their work. Imagine if we had organizations set up like that today, and where you could go to work, even anyone who's part of a team or employed who doesn't own or lead a business or a team, if you went to a place of work where you knew that you could actually bring your best self to work and become more of what you're capable of becoming through the work that you're doing with the people that you're doing it with. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it, Lise? You're on mute now, but yes. All right. So we're 15 minutes in. If there's any questions or comments anybody has, please feel free to put them in the comments as we go through this. I'm just going to stop sharing this screen now, and then hopefully, if I get my mouse to where it needs to be, stop that there. So that brings me back up. I'm going to remove that there, and then I'm going to add in, as I promised, the PDF. So here we go. Here is. So what we have here, this is a PDF that we're going to give to everybody. I wonder if I can just go make this a full screen for you. I'm sure there's a way to do that. Doesn't matter. But you can see this PDF here. We're going to give everyone a copy of this. Anyone who's listening or puts in the comments, be your best. If you put be your best in the comments, other than Joseph, who's already made comment that he'd like the PDF, we're going to make sure that you get a copy of this. And basically, it just covers everything that we talked about here, the process for human behavior, helping people do their life's best work, be the best they can to do their life's best work while in your care and beyond, and the parts of that and what each of these stages of the process means and the definition of leadership that's on here. So we're going to make sure everybody who watches this gets a copy of that. Any comments, anything to add, Lisa, in your wisdom and experience? Oh, look at that big thing on my head.
Oh, that's better. We can see all of you now, Dave. I think that's perfect. I think you've absolutely nailed it. And I know certainly what gets true to what's true for me is that we worry so much about what other people think. And that's the reason why we don't want to have a go, because we don't want to be seen to be falling down and making a mistake. But I challenge people to go, well, if no one else actually cares about you, or they're not overly worried about what you're doing because they're too busy worried about what you're thinking of them, then I wonder if the challenge is actually us not giving ourselves permission to fall down and have a crack, which is really challenging. And we talk about this quite regularly, Dave. It's people don't have a go because they don't want to make a mistake. But if the mistakes that we've learned from are the very things that have meant that our success is present and current, then who do we think we are going to the next stage of success if we're not going to give ourselves permission to make any when we've just agreed that that's what's required to get to where we want to go? It's really interesting.
That's such a powerful point. And let's just reiterate that. So you didn't get to be where you are today without the mistakes, learning from the mistakes that you've made. There's some that you've made that you haven't learned from yet. So that's, but I didn't get to be who I am today without learning from all the mistakes. And actually a lot of the work that we do in the world today is because of the mistakes that I made, that I've learned from, from trying to grow like everybody else. And this is why we focus so much on evolution, because I made the mistake of just focusing on growth so many times over and over again until I learned the fact that, hey, being more for more isn't anywhere as important as becoming more and increasing my capabilities and capacity for greatness and being able to deliver more. So without learning that, we wouldn't be doing the work we're doing today. So what makes me think that I can go and do everything else I want to do in the world and create more of the stuff I want to create in the world without making more mistakes? Who am I to think that I can do all that without making any more mistakes? Honestly, I mean, like, and so please, I think we've just got this really, really bad stigma around making mistakes and the way we treat people when they do. Yet you look at all the, like, how many mistakes do you think Elon Musk or Richard Branson, all these people who are doing amazing things in the world, or even entrepreneurs or business people who know, or even just people who've done amazing stuff in their field of study, they surely made mistakes doing it along the way. They wouldn't get to be that level of greatness without making those mistakes. Athletes, you look at that, Michael Jordan famously talks about the 10,000 shots that he missed or whatever. So we really need to just drive a message home to people that encourage people to make mistakes, that it's okay.
For sure. And if we even take it and apply different context to it, I used to work for Queensland Health many moons ago, and medicine really is trial and error. If we've got something that we're not quite sure, we'll try this. Does it fix it? No. Does we try this? We'll fix it? No. So if medicine is literally trial and error, then unless we're doctors playing with people's lives, where it also is true for them, why would we feel like we're the exception to the trial and error rule if that's what's required for the outcome? Thomas Edison didn't make a light bulb overnight.
No. They all of a sudden make it and flick the switch on. Hey, that worked.
Famously,
and I love the way, whether it's folklore or whatever, but the concept being that he successfully found X number of ways, depending which quote you want to read, 1,000, 10,000, 15,000, 400, doesn't matter, ways where it didn't work. Right? Like even, our good friend Gary Ridge, WD-40. Right? So a little blue and yellow can with a little red lid. Do you know why it's called WD-40?
Enlighten me.
Okay, so WD is for water displacement first. So it's a formula. So what it is, so when you spray it on rusty bits, so it actually pulls the water out so you can loosen the, whatever it is that, so WD-40 is to unstick things that are stuck that shouldn't be stuck, right? So, but WD-40 is the 40th attempt at getting the process. There was WD-39, and finally at the 40th attempt, they got it right. So there was 39... Cool. Yeah, and it's a true story. There was 39 other attempts at water displacement, the way they did it, the formula for it, that it didn't work. And on the 40th, they got it to work. And that's why it's called WD-40, water displacement 40. That's the formula for it. Yep. And, and so what a classic example of learning from mistakes. What if they stopped at 39? All of you out there who use WD-40, you got to thank the person who decided to go from 39 and give it one more crack, right? Because we would, I remember my rusty old cars and stuff like that using WD-40 to loosen some of the lug nuts and stuff on the wheels and things. Where would I be with that WD-40 if that person had decided, like, at 39, Bali's, I'm out, I can't do it anymore. 39, we've screwed up enough. We're never going to find it. It's not going to work. We're out.
Do you reckon if I sprayed it on my knees and ankles, it'd make those joints work better? What if you put it on your golf club, Dave? Will you hit the ball better?
I'm going to give that a crack for sure.
I take no responsibility for over 100 shots this weekend.
Yeah. They say there's only two things you need in life. One's duct tape to stop things from moving that shouldn't be moving, and WD-40 to make things move that should be moving. 100%. All right, so... Yeah, so I'll be walking out in the golf course with a can of WD-40, some duct tape. Like, what are you doing? I'm trying to stop my left leg from moving out, and I need to keep the right thing moving. So
I've got to go to Netflix. I wrap my joints up so they don't move, but then when I get home, I need to spray WD-40 on them so that they start moving again.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, because somebody decided to have one more attempt to put themselves at risk of making another mistake, and we got what we have today. So where's that? Like, here's the question for everybody. I mean, all jokes aside. Where's the WD-40 moment where are you at WD-39 in your business? So yeah, Al, is that pain from the first game?
2 hour. Another one tonight. You might have to send a stretcher.
Yeah. The yeah, but like, so where in your business are you at the WD-39 moment, and you're possibly a thing like this is not going to work, and you're like one more go from actually succeeding? I was watching a video actually of Eric, the hip hop preacher, and he was talking about Michael Jordan again, but in a different context. Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player of all time. He averaged 32 points per game. The second place person, I think, averaged 30 or 31 points. So it's like one shot basically per game on average, better than everybody else. And it's like, where are you not taking that one extra shot in your life or your business? And then, like, if you look at where, and then ask yourself, why am I not taking it? What am I afraid of to take that one more extra shot, or that one extra go at it, or whatever it is, that one more to go from WD-39 to WD-40 in my life or my business? Because the one thing that stops people, all this stuff we shared already in the first whatever minutes of this live stream, the first 20 minutes or so, amount for nothing if you're not willing to have a go and make a mistake and fall down. If you're not willing to go from WD-39 to WD-40, if you're not willing to go from take that one extra shot to be the points leader, all-time points leader per game in your sport, your business, right? Your life. So please, if you want to help other people become the best version of themselves, to do their life's best work while in your care and beyond, please, please, please be willing to be the best you can be first, right? To do your life's best work while you're in all their care, and trust that your team, and build a culture where your team can trust everyone to help lift you up. And Joseph just made a really great point. That's 2022 for all of us, right? Yeah, we need to help lift each other up as a society, as a community. And, understand that people are making mistakes out there, and it's okay. Like the post that we put up a while ago, you can respond in kind, or you can respond in kindness. It's up to you how you want to treat other people. But if someone falls down, help them up. It's not so hard, right? So I really encourage people to do that. Like for me, in your own self. And here in a business context, again, bring it back into business sense. My team you deserve me at my best. Okay. But in order for me to become my best, I'm going to make some mistakes, but you deserve the best of me. Right. So I strive to become the best I can be. Why? So that I can help you guys become the best that you can be. Why? Because our clients deserve the best from us. Right. Your clients deserve the best from you. So you need to help your team be the best. The only way to help your team be the best is by you continuing to become the best you can be. There's no shortcuts to this process. Because otherwise you're going to get that, and the great people are going to leave, and you're going to have to go through the whole cycle bringing other people, when you should just evolve yourself and your team to stay relevant in the hearts and minds of people you choose to serve. So there's our live stream for today. Anyone who wants, if you watch this later, I think #BeYourBest in the comments, and we'll make sure we get that PDF to you. The ones who've already commented on that yesterday, we'll make sure they get a copy of it. Joseph as well, Al. For the people who've tuned in, who have made comments, those of you who've been watching, thank you so much for your time and attention. Next week, I think we're going to talk about the other half of the process. We're going to look at how you take all those human beings and put them together in organizational behavior. So if you saw the whiteboarding that I did, the other part of that, we're going to go through that as well, and look at how we take that collective of human beings and put them all together and work for a greater good. Any last comments, Lisa, before we time out?
The thing I love about organizational behavior in that process, Dave, is it gets people gathered around something other than the water cooler.
Yeah.
Just a meaningful work in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Al, thanks. Go see you tomorrow. Yes, definitely, Al. We're going to be working on the big secret, the big Al and the big secret. So that should be a lot more news coming out of Big Al's Big Secret next week.
Big Al's Big Secret. That sounds like a sitcom.
Yeah. Well, it might be with Al and I and yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Take more shots tonight, Lisa. Yes. And Malcolm, yes, be your best. Absolutely. Malcolm, looking forward to catching up with you. Hope the sales conference, by the way, went extremely well with all your people across Australia, mate. And we're looking forward to what the power of PowerShield is going to bring to the world as well. So on that, we'll wrap it up. To everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Lisa, thanks as always for being there for in case I fell down during this live stream. I know you had my back, which was great.
Pleasure always. Thank you.
And we'll see everybody next Thursday live on organizational behavior. That should be exciting. All right. Take care, everybody.
See ya.